What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Bully 2 yet again, but this time in context of some of the stuff we've just found out from Rockstar. Now, look, when it comes to these kind of hack situations, and you can call them leaks, but I mean they're taken through illegal means, right? What I try to do, and what I did even with the Insomniac ones, with Wolverine, etc., I try to make it about kind of a bigger story, not necessarily, just giving away all the information, although, people do it and people can do it, whatever. I try to look at what we got from the hack and then try to turn it into something original, right? Something that I can talk about to try to use the hack a little bit, but also to make it not all about, what was stolen. So, what's this video about? Well, I'm a fan of Bully. I've wanted Bully 2 for the longest time. I've actually made several videos on Bully 2, and we've kind of gone through all the different eras of, hey, it was in the works. And I remember when that was kind of like not even for sure known, right? And now I think we've all been on the same page for a little while, but actually with this newest hack, I think now everybody's on the same page, right? And so that's like the new kind of information. So for those that didn't see, there was a lot of canceled projects / projects that were maybe just shelved, right? Maybe you can go back to them, and we're going to get there with Bully 2. And it really is why. Well, why did they put so many of these games down? And this includes Agent, right? The infamous PS3 exclusive game that was going to be Bully, multiple GTA 5, single player DLCs, which a lot of people are very, very upset that we didn't get those. And I mean, I understand all of it, right? Now, the issue is, why didn't we get it? Basically because of GTA Online. Now, there's theories and different ideas of why these things didn't happen. Look, I'm probably going to take a pretty aggressive path and say it's kind of a mixture of two things, okay? In some degree, I see why GTA Online needs to occur, okay? Now, why do I say it like that? Well, I'm not a fan of many live service games, and for something like that to go into, getting the shark cards and all this garbage versus giving us a Bully 2 and giving us Agent and all this stuff, it's like, yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow because I don't play GTA Online. So, I mean, it's selfish, right? It's my own personal thing. I, of course, would have taken Bully 2 over a much more emphasized, GTA Online, okay? However, from one side of things, you can absolutely understand it because what seems to have happened, right, is GTA Online literally allows them to make the single player games that they're making. Now, you could argue, and actually I will argue this, well, do the single player games always have to be GTA and Red Dead? Now, to be fair, Red Dead's only got 2, right? Let's not count Revolver. That was kind of a different era, right? So you have Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2, and you have like the newest, kind of groupings of GTA games now leading into 6, okay? So you have all that happening. Well, do you need those games to keep existing, past, I would say, maybe even GTA 6? This is where I think Bully 2 actually can come in, honestly. I get it that you need this, constant influx of, and they're getting it, this influx of money in order to spend 6, 7, 8, 9 years to make a single player game, right? Many companies could not do Red Dead Redemption 2. Many companies could not do GTA 6, right? You literally cannot take 7, 8 years, make the game of your dreams, make a game that is industry defining, do it every time, but to take that much time and to take that much money, right? It's just never gonna fly with most of these companies. You need something like GTA Online to basically pay the bills. And it's a sad, sad world that because, again, like the theories that are being flown out there, well, you have GTA Online, all of the resources and all of the energy put into that. You had to cancel some of the single player stuff as online started to get bigger and bigger. You had to put more resources to maintain it, and you couldn't have those resources going somewhere else. And so it's this balancing kind of act that, again, I'm not a big fan of. I can see it from the perspective of that, constant money flow, and that allows us to get the games that we are getting. So I guess there's at least that positive. If we didn't have GTA Online, maybe we wouldn't be able to get the GTA 6 single player side. Maybe you wouldn't be able to get Red Dead Redemption 2. But as to the future, well, for me, Bully 2 has always, and this is an optimist speaking here, has always been like a shelved project. At least that's what I've like wanted to believe, right? I've always wanted to believe, and even there has been some rumors of, hey, they've picked this thing up and put it down multiple times. It's not just like one time. And I believe that, I don't know if it's been proven because it's kind of hearsay, but I feel like there's enough there. I feel like Bully 2 has been in a situation where they've tried it a few different times. And what does that tell me? Well, unlike some of the other stuff that you're just never going to get more single player or any single player DLC for GTA 5, right? That ship's gone. You're never going to get Agent, right? Like a lot of these things are just never going to happen. But for Bully 2, I think there's always a possibility, right? Like, you can always bring Bully 2 back. Now, you could argue censorship and, like, would it work in modern day? You could definitely argue that, right? But without that, I mean, if you throw that stuff out just for a second, Bully 2 is a game that you can constantly, I think, kind of reiterate, bring back, where some of those other projects you're not going to be able to. There's also the idea, and I mean, this is probably a discussion we're going to have for the next, like, 5-6 years. What comes after GTA 6? Now, to be honest with you, I don't even know if Rockstar, knows that answer, right? Red Dead 3 is coming, and it will eventually come. Another GTA game is coming. Like, they're not going to let those go. And those games will take, 6 to 8 years to make them. But can you have a game that kind of comes, in between it? And this is where even, like, some of the rumors with this hack stuff have come. Now, from what I have seen, there's one, I'm not going to give them, like, credit, because there's one specific individual or account that's kind of pushing Medieval, like maybe they're going to do something like that. And from what I've gathered through different things online, the person doesn't really know what they're talking about all that well. So, I could have gone into this saying, hey, a Medieval game is, next up, but ultimately we just don't know. And again, I don't know if Rockstar knows. Everything that they kind of do and everything we've kind of heard from them, they do kind of seem like a one-at-a-time game studio, at least right now, right? Like, they're focusing on 6, and they're focusing on what comes next for GTA Online. But are they thinking about, do they have early people working on, like, the next game? Maybe, but I would imagine very few in, the grand scheme of things. So I think Bully 2 is an option just like anything else is an option. Obviously, the easy thing to say is to just go back to Red Dead. And I think, again, Red Dead 3 will happen. But Bully 2, I feel like there's got to be something eventually that stops this back and forth between GTA and Red Dead, right? And a lot of people have been saying that for a long time, but easier said than done, right? Especially when and we've talked about this, they see the money. They know how much these two games sell. And flat out, I don't know this either, does Bully 2 sell as well as, like, a Red Dead 3? Now, Red Dead doesn't sell as well as GTA, right? GTA is like the top dog. Red Dead's below it. Well, where's Bully? We don't really know, but it's also been so long since Bully that there's no real good way of testing it. There's also no real good way of testing a new Rockstar IP. You can go back to, like, LA Noire and things like that, but again, those aren't great tests either. Honestly, like, for how long it's been and the different almost genres at that point and all the, the new age kind of technology that even they were using with that specific one, it's hard to tell. So even doing a new IP, if they made a Medieval game, I mean, I think that would be fantastic. I think that'd be so freaking cool. But how do they know that would, you know what I mean? You don't know that. The only two that they know for sure is GTA and Red Dead. I think eventually you have to test the waters. It is, but again, with the whole understanding of how, like, the money works with online, right? I would also throw in, I can completely understand their, like, skepticism where they don't know. They are a huge team. They require a huge amount of money to keep operating. And yes, maybe GTA Online and Red Dead Online, maybe that can support doing a risk like a Bully 2. But also they might look at it and say, like, we can't afford something that only sells 10 million. Are you crazy? We need something that sells 25 plus million units. We can't have Bully 2 out there selling 10 million. That's not enough. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? Like, thinking about it, a developer or a publisher saying, oh, that's not enough. But I mean, that is real life. Like, that's literally what it would be. So you don't know. We don't know their expectations for how much, money they would want to be made. I think Bully 2 would work, though. I really do. And I think Bully 2 would have such an appetite because although, yeah, nothing's going to touch GTA 6, right? Like, you're never going to, except for 7, right? You're never going to be able to touch GTA. And you might not be able to touch Red Dead. But I think there's, number one, an appetite for Bully 2 specifically, to see the Bully IP come back. And number two, I also think there's appetite to just see I think Rockstar has reached a point, and I think they probably reached it a long time ago. People will just play games from them, right? If they have a new IP or if they have a Bully 2, it's about Rockstar. And I think that name carries, and I think you'd be getting it not just for the IP of Bully, but you'd be getting it to see how does Rockstar iterate this college-like setting, right? Like, what do you do to push stuff forward in that area? And I mean, that's what I would really be, like, looking forward to, right? I could say that for a Medieval game, for a Pirates game, like anything that they make, I'd be looking at it from, well, how can they really push what anything else we've ever seen of that game, of that genre? How can they push it? And I think that's powerful. And why am I saying that? Well, I think that would get people to buy it, not just it being Bully. So I think it would do quite well, honestly. But again, we just don't know. Could it return? Yes. Will it return? I think something has to break the trend right now, like after GTA, because we've been on this back and forth for a while now. This is what, our fourth, fifth time. So going into Red Dead 3, which would be, again, what you imagine is next, I think you need something to stop it. And I mean, not to say I want a Red Dead 3, okay? And I can wait. We can wait 10, 12, 13 more years maybe for a Red Dead 3. The issue is these games take forever, right? So we're going to be in such a drastically different part of our lives as a nation, wherever you are, whichever nation you're in, as a civilization. Imagining the next Red Dead game in, say, 15 years and the next GTA in, say, 20 years. It's insane to even think like that. But that's like the game development world we're in, which is scary and odd, but I mean, it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.